Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another exciting edition of Reader's Magnet featured author interview, and we're streaming live on all our platforms. That's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. My name is Rob, and I am your host for today. And I'm thrilled to introduce you our special guest, Kenny Harmon, with an impressive 40-year career as an iron worker across 27 states, and a memorable viral moment as the Sad Papa meme in 2016. So Kenny's here to discuss his book, Sad Papa's Heritage. So please help me welcome Mr. Kenny Harmon. Kenny, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Rob. How are you?
Well, I'm doing swell as well. So Kenny, talking about the book though, so as you can see on the screen, though, Sad Papa's Heritage is posted there, but there might be people who know you through the interviews, backstories, especially the meme that was created last 2016. But for those who don't know you or the heritage or even about past on how it became in fruition, so Kenny, tell us, what is this book all about?
It begins with the stories of my ancestors coming from Germany to America in the 1700s. And then after that, it turns into pioneer history, where my ancestors moved to Kentucky before they came to eventually Oklahoma. So it tells the journey of my ancestors, basically beginning with my fifth great grandfather.
Oh, so it's we're talking about a long history of
Yes.
of generations passed along up until the present. But coming up with this, because again, people can write about books about themselves, about their lives, about their parents, grandparents, though. But for 5 generations, it just begs the question, like, oh, who inspired you to write this book, or was there anything that pushed you to write it?
Well, I'd heard stories about my great grandfather and my grandpa when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got the idea for a book, the first thing I thought of was my heritage, my ancestors. And then the more I researched, the more interesting it became. And I think the people that read heritage are going to be surprised at what they read.
Well, if that is the case, though, if ever people want to know more about this, then they should really grab a copy of this book. But so Henry, going back with this, because again, to all of you viewers know, Henry, Kenny Harmon. Kenny Harmon was a meme that was posted. For those who are known with dialect for meme, like he went viral for a post way back 2016, where you were cooking burgers during that time. If I do remember it correctly. Like you were cooking burgers at that time, and it became a Sad Papa meme. Is that correct?
Yes, my granddaughter was coming in. She'd come in from college. She was a softball player in college, so she didn't get much time off. This was in the spring of 2016. She gave me a call one morning and wanted to come to my house to eat that evening. So I gave her a time, and I made a couple of phone calls. I knew one of the grandkids wasn't going to be there. But my son that has 4 of the grandkids, he was very busy at work and forgot about the phone call. So that eliminated some of the grandkids being there. I didn't know that. Kelsey didn't know that. So when it came time to eat, we started eating. And Kelsey, I guess it was partly feeling sorry for me. And mainly she wanted to play a social media joke on her cousins that weren't there. So she took a picture of me eating a burger and posted that photo and a couple of sentences on Twitter. And by the next morning, that tweet had went across Europe, Asia, and Australia without my knowledge.
Yeah, it basically went viral. Like a lot of people were making like sad papa memes, like putting up some sentences, like using your picture all over the internet. Like it was all over the internet during that time. Like on the original post, you could really know that it's really sad though. Looking at the post though, it was sad. But eventually it became viral, and a lot of people were using that as a meme template, and everyone was using it.
There were dozens of memes.
Yeah,
Some
no,
of them
but
were
that
pretty. Some of them were pretty funny.
yeah, some of them were pretty funny though. Like, I just could remember a few off the top of my head though. But hey, that was all the intro. But going back with you being a meme, could you say that becoming the sad papa meme impact your journey as an author and your approach to writing your book as well, or was it really any part of it?
Absolutely. I never expected Heritage to be a big hit. I knew it was going to be uh, well received with my family and friends,
Hmm.
but as far as from coast to coast, I never had any thoughts like that. But I added material to the book a couple of times, and
Hmm.
I just wasn't getting any bad reviews. And in fact, on my website,
Mm.
sadpapawbooks.net, there are 3 5-star reviews. So when those reviews came back, it just
Hmm.
made it obvious to me that the book had potential.
Mm. Well, because I could say though, because going back with the whole thing, because again, it was you created the book without any idea, and then there were interviews, there were deep dives on YouTube, like talking about the history of the sad papa meme. Like a lot of things were uncovered, especially with the book Heritage. It was a it turned out to be a viral hit that it was like it happened overnight. Like it was so fast that a lot of things were being uncovered. You as you Kenny were being researched as well. Where did this come from? Where did it started? Like it was a whole culture for in a bit. But just talking about this book though, because then talking about your book, talking about on how you became a meme overnight, but talking about the creation of the book, were there any biggest challenges you faced while writing Sad Papa's Heritage? And if there were, how did you overcome them?
Well, it's very difficult for an amateur like me. 8 years ago, I was an amateur.
Mm,
Uh, Anyone that's considering writing a book that they have hopes of maybe the copyright being purchased by a traditional publisher, one of the big boys like HarperCollins or
mm,
Macmillan, if
mm-hmm.
they've got hopes like that, they better tone down their hopes because the book journey is quite a journey for an amateur.
Hmm.
It's quite a journey. It's expensive.
Okay.
Some folks would say, "What is wrong with you?" If they knew, if I told how much money I've invested in Heritage, they probably want me to check into some kind of rehab or something.
Okay, but hey, again, it's always part of the writer's journey,
My
though.
family's mentioned that a time or two, especially my ex-wife.
Oh. Okay. But again, because thinking about it though, again, being a writer though, again, this is a again, as you said though, you think that you have wrote something. There is a journey involved in it, and it doesn't only involve finances, but it involves time, um, even sleepless nights thinking about what will be the next material. You have writer's block. What do you write next? Is it good to be there? You over contemplate about a lot of things, so it's not really an easy journey, and there is a lot of how do you say this, a lot of troubles all throughout the publishing journey though, writing a book, finishing it.
You have to be
Yeah.
very careful about scams.
Yes, yes, yes.
There are lots of people that have got into book scams in recent years,
Mm.
and sad to say, I've fell for a couple of those scams.
Oh.
But like I said, if you're gonna try to write a book that's gonna, you want it to go national, you want it to be a big success. Besides the money, you got to have patience.
True. I
Patience,
agree with that. I
patience
agree
is
with
an
that.
absolute.
I really agree with that. Like
If you want to
patience is really
start, if
important.
you want to start throwing things when things aren't going right, then you're probably not going to make it.
Okay, but to talk it's, again, Kenny, the journey you've been through, it's not an easy path. It's not it's not even smooth sailing. It was a really rough river. It was a really rough river that you need to go through. But just wanted to ask you though, because talking about going back with the book Sad Papa's Heritage, there will be some people who'll be interested in picking up a copy of this. So what do you think your readers will take away after reading your book then?
Well, like I said a few minutes ago, I think they're going to be surprised at some of the things that they
Hmm.
read. A lot of people are clueless of how colonial life was in America
Mm,
in the beginning, even into the 1800s.
mm.
Eastern America was just basically a wilderness. And for many years, people had to be careful about being out after dark.
Oh.
Yeah, there was
Hmm.
Native Americans, especially one group that were not happy with the white folks being in their territory, which
Okay.
is understandable. But like I said, there's going to be some surprises because most people just can't comprehend what colonial days were. And then when people began to move westward,
Mm.
eventually they got to the Mississippi River. But the 17 and 1800s were tough, tough years for the colonial pioneers and the pioneers that were moving westward, like my family did.
Sure, sure. It could be. It's more of like this book is not what you expect on how life was lived in the past, though. It's going to be on a
Yeah,
different perspective.
there's definitely some surprises. I
Well,
I could give some hints, but I'll leave it at that.
let's just keep it. Let's just keep the people interested and intrigued on what these surprises will be.
I will
But
I will I will say
sure,
one thing.
sure.
Uh, After I had done my research,
Hmm.
I realized that my ancestors were some of the most famous and well respected people in Virginia.
Oh.
And that was not words from my family. That was things that I read that were written by people that knew the Harmons.
Hmm.
And I'll say this: when they arrived from Germany, their name was Hermann, Hermann. Immediately after arriving in America, they changed the spelling to Harman.
Hmm.
People will notice that my last name is spelled Mon, and that's
Hmm.
another story in the book.
Okay. So at least people can know the history on how it changed over time and how it ended up to be Harmon, which is the current last name that was being passed down along through generations. But Kenny, one more thing though, and because I know that a lot of things have happened, especially with your book. Do you have any future plans about your book, especially Sad Papa's Heritage?
Well, I've got some amazing news
Sure.
in the last 6 weeks. Four media companies have shown a lot of interest in
Mm,
heritage, so it's possible before the end of the year or early next year, there's could be an announcement about the film rights of
mm.
heritage.
Oh, so that
That would be pertaining to movies, TV series, things like that.
well, and that is something that a lot of people will be looking forward. And then we do know though that if ever this will be announced, though, they will know who are these media companies that will be taking care of Sad Papa's Heritage. So, and ever a lot of people want to be getting a copy of this book, or even want to know more about the story before the movie comes out. They are free and able to get a copy for this. But Kenny, before I wrap this up, though, I just want to, because again, you started writing this book on your own, had your journey, but just want to ask you, what advice could you at least give to aspiring authors who are just starting their writing journey? Anything you want to leave them?
Well, if anyone uh, wants to start out, it's very helpful if they
Mhm.
have friends or relatives with experience. I was fortunate enough to have, I think it was four cousins that helped with the research. In fact, our family guru of the genealogy, she was one of them that helped.
Mm.
So it wasn't just me. I had a lot of help in finding out the history of our family.
I really appreciate it. And also, Kenny, before I wrap this up, we just do have one question from one of our viewers, though. Name is Alani. She is asking, though, if, because again, this is what she says. It's really interesting to stumble upon a book that also features historical events. So, was it difficult to go back and look for documents about your ancestors when writing a book about your family heritage?
Well, once I started researching, it was actually easier than I thought because in
Hmm.
the 21st century, we all know about the internet, we all know about Google, and we know about the Wikipedia,
Hmm.
and the research was easier than I thought it was going to be. And that's when I got one of my big surprises is I found out that one of my ancestors, he was actually a cousin to my fourth great grandfather. He was the most famous Harmon, and
Oh,
he's the main one that people are going to read about his stories in the 1700s. He was quite a character, quite a man, quite a man.
really awesome. So, coming up with the research though, again, instead of searching from treasure chests and treasure troves of documents and everything, you were surprised that it was much more easier than you thought the research would be. And again, looking back at the whole history, now the book is available. And one thing that I can say, Kenny, going back with the whole book, again, it's really, I just really want to thank you for sharing your incredible journey and insights with us today. It's been fascinating to hear about how your unique experiences have shaped Sad Papa's heritage. And again, so for and also all our viewers, for those who are eager to dive into Kenny's compelling story, the book is available for purchase on Amazon. And if you want to know more information, here's this. Feel free to visit his website, that is sadpapabooks.net. So, okay, so be sure to grab your copy and explore the rich narrative that Kenny has crafted. So, Kenny, I'd like to say this. Thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and it was really fun knowing more about history and also some future plans about your book as well, which is really some exciting news. Gotta give it to you.
Okay, thank you, Rob. I enjoyed it.
Okay, so once again, this is Kenny Harmon, the author of the book Sad Papa's Heritage. And to all our viewers, thanks for tuning in. And as we say here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. So keep your story alive and thriving. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.